Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Um,
Actually,
Hi, am I audible?
I guess there is some problem at my end regarding internet. Tried connecting
Okay,
right on, then got late.
that's perfectly fine. The viewers were getting a bit restless, but now that you're there, shall we begin?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll just give a brief introduction. So, hello everybody. Today we are in a live session with the one and only Mudit Jain. I'm personally extremely honored to take your interview because I think you are a survivor. Your journey for UPSC has been a very long one, a 6-year-old journey in which you gave 5 attempts, you cleared the exam, you cleared 4 interviews, and then you got 3 ranks, 2 IPS, 1 IRS. I mean, hats off, sir. It was too impressive for us, the mere mortals of the earth.
You.
um, my first question from you is that you said that you have, from a very early age, wanted to be a public servant. So why was that the case? And when you drifted from your real calling, which is the civil services, when you tried your engineering and you did your job at Accenture, uh, were you not satisfied with what you were doing? And what changed inside you and you came back to civil services?
So, as you rightly said, I was only 12 when I planned to become an IAS officer one day. I could not.
Yes.
That's a different story that I could not. But that is the plan of, I guess, every civil servant who starts his journey, that they want to do IAS. They want to become IAS.
Right.
So it was my father who instilled in me the first seeds and the thoughts to join civil services when I was just 12. But
Okay.
then, as I guess happens with most, gradually with
Right.
time, I somewhat lost my way in the school itself. My focus in
Okay.
10th, my focus in 10th and 12th was mainly on scoring more marks in boards. I did that, 94% in
Mm-hmm.
10th, 90% in 12th. But then the larger dream, I completely forgot it. So after 12th, I took engineering. Uh, I basically didn't take engineering. Engineering took me because I could not clear any other exam. I failed IIT. I
Right.
got a very poor rank in AIEEE. I could not clear LIC, etc. I wrote many exams. So I finally got admission in Amity University on basis of my 12th marks. I was a
Okay.
scholarship student there. As it happens mostly in Amity, we did everything apart from studies. So after 4 years, I got campus placement to Accenture Bangalore, and it was there when I realized that private is really not my cup of tea, because I felt that I was doing same work again and again, day after day, and I wasn't contributing enough. I wasn't making changes in lives of many. I wasn't impacting many lives. So that is when I sort of realized the long forgotten dream that I had to become a civil servant, to be an IS officer. So during my stint at Accenture itself, I started preparing for civils. And when my bond period was over with Accenture, I quit for full time preparation.
Okay. My question is that how did you start your preparation? What was the first thing that you did? And NCRT, as we all know, is extremely important. So, did you start with NCRT or previous year papers or syllabus? I mean, I just want to know basic things that you did while starting your preparation in the initial stages.
So, when I started my preparation way back in June 2012, the pattern was
Okay.
completely different. So, there were two
Hmm.
optionals back then, but then thankfully, for my first attempt, that was in 2013, then only the pattern changed and UPSC came with a new notification. So,
Right.
for then I had already studied two optionals. So to answer your question, how I started my preparation, I didn't even know what is optional subject. What do you mean by optional?
Okay.
That I didn't even know that you have to select two subjects per se. There are not that every subject is not fixed. Two subjects you have to select. I didn't even know that. So my hostel
Oh,
warden in Karol Bagh told me that the best possible combinations going around are PubEd and geography. I blindly trusted him and took those optionals. And that very year, when my seniors of 2012 exam, their result came. So somebody had
mm,
scored 19, somebody had scored 20, 26 out of 300. Back then, paper used to be of 300 marks. So my
right.
start was very wavered. I didn't know the resources. I didn't know what to do, how to do. I had joined coaching for optional. I left PubEd, kept geography. Then I joined GS coaching, which I left on 13th day because that coaching was so boring. I won't name the coaching, but then I left it on 13th day itself. I wasted all my money. So my start wasn't good at all. It was directionless. But even after that, I could make to interview in my first round. So the journey went
Right.
on from
Okay. As you clearly admitted that your choice in optional was wrong because you were believing in what other people told you and you did not really go for your gut instinct. Um, but still, you were able to reach the interview round in your very first attempt, despite of being from an engineering background and never having studied these general studies subjects ever in your life. There must be something right that you did. So what was that? I mean, why do you think you reached the interview round in your very first attempt?
there. So when you ask me this question, a similar question that I answered on Quora kicks in, that
Okay,
everybody is reading the same material. So what is so
right.
unique for somebody that he or she keeps clearing exam again and again while someone else is not able to even clear mains? So this was
Hmm.
the basic idea that was in my mind when the new pattern came. Everybody around me was running after the ready-made coaching material back then. But then I don't
Yes.
know how, I don't know why this thing got into my mind that if 18,000 people are writing mains and say if 10,000 people have written this same answer from this same material, you will write what you have read. You cannot write out of the blue in exam. You will only write what you have read, what you have revised 4 to 5 times. So what struck me was that if I am also one of these 10,000 aspirants who are reading this XYZ material, I will also write that very point. What will be unique in me? What will be unique in my answers? So back then, I decided to make my own study material. So what I did
Okay.
was that I served through internet, I served through syllabus, I went for every single topic. I had luxury of doing so because back then in 2013 there were 180 days between pre and mains. Not like today, like
Hmm.
we have 95 odd days this time. So I had almost double the
Right.
time that is available today. So I could make my own material. Like for ethics, I made my own material. I made my notes, and expanding those notes, I came up with my book later on. Similarly, for history, I found a PDF online. I further
Okay.
reduced it to 78 pages notes. So this was the very basic difference, which I think. Plus, answer writing has never been an issue for me. I used to write big answers in good quality and big quantity wise answers in boards as well in my school, in college. So I think that comes naturally to me, and that really helped me score big in GS. Across my attempts, like
Okay.
in my first attempt, I scored 340, then 387 in second, 426 in third, 463 in fourth, fifth attempt. So my GS scores
Hmm.
were such that I could clear mains every time I appeared mains. So maybe that
Right.
is why I could reach interview round so often.
This is actually very interesting because I read your blog and you had mentioned there as well that means is not a difficult arena for you.
Not
For
not
you, prelims and yes. For you, prelims and interview rounds were comparatively more difficult
yeah,
than mains.
yeah.
Can you please show some light, throw some light on it, and tell us that how you prepared for your prelims examinations?
So If I can recall correctly, in my first attempt, as I already told, I was directionless. I had
Exactly.
too too much of material. I used to run after material. If XYZ person is reading a material, I'll pick that, which is true
Mhm.
for many aspirants these days. They try to read everything under the sun and they forget that they have to revise it also. Basically, you are
Right.
investing in mutual funds and then you are forgetting about it. You are not reaping benefits out of it. So that is what I
Mhm.
was doing back. So first attempt was blunder. Still I cleared pre because I was an engineer and CSAT helped me. Similarly, in
Okay.
second attempt, CSAT was my savior. If I'm not wrong, 2014 attempt also had CSAT. Uh, I'm not
Okay.
sure, but then since 2015, CSAT was made qualifying, I guess. So I had to push
Right.
myself. When CSAT became qualifying, I had to push myself a lot because my GS was very weak. So I
Okay.
practiced 40 to 50 papers. I read concise materials. Like for history, I would read only two or three sources. For geography, I'll rely on my optional notes. For environment, I'll go through Shankar. For economy, Sriram. For polity,
Right.
Lakshmikant. For current, I'll refer only three sources. Back then, I used to refer only three, that is Hindu, Vision, and Insight. So my sources were
Right.
very limited. What happened with that is that when your sources are less, you can make notes out of them. When you make your own notes, you can revise them 4 to 5 times. You cannot expect one to revise Bipin Chandra 10 times. It is impossible. But then if you have
Hmm.
consolidated 75-page notes of Bipin Chandra, you can revise them as many times as you want. So as my revisions increased, my accuracy increased in prelims. Plus, I practiced a
Okay.
lot of tests, at least 40-50 tests. So that was the way, that was the method I followed. But then in 2016, in 2014 and 15, I got IPS twice. In
Hmm.
2016, I was over the moon. I have no shame in admitting that. I felt that मेरा नहीं होगा तो किसका होगा. ये प्री है बस, मेरा
हाँ.
2 बार हुआ है, इस बार भी हो जाएगा. I didn't follow process, I didn't study, I didn't revise, and result was I flunked pre. I flunked by 2-3 months, but then I flunked even after getting 2 IPS ranks. So following the processes is important.
Okay. So basically, you're saying is that कम resources follow कीजिए और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा revision और test paper solve कीजिए.
कम पढ़ो,
Broadly
ज्यादा
speaking.
ज्यादा बार पढ़ो.
हाँ.
कम
Okay.
सोर्सेस पढ़ो, ज्यादा बार पढ़ो.
जी. So how important, we all know this, but a lot of us don't focus enough on NCRTs because हमें लगता है कि अगर बड़ी books या मोटी books पढ़ेंगे तो शायद सिलेक्शन जल्दी हो जाए. तो मैं आपसे एक बारी आपके थ्रू कहलवाना चाहूंगी सबसे कि आपके अकॉर्डिंगली एनसीईआरटीज कितनी ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है इस एग्जामिनेशन के लिए.
ये डिफरेंट टॉपर से आपको डिफरेंट व्यूज मिलेंगे एनसीईआरटी को लेके.
जी.
माय
जी.
व्यू is a mixed bag. I think that for
ओके.
each and every topic, it is not necessary to go through NCRT. Like for polity, I think that going through NCRT for polity is not a panacea. You can directly
राइट.
start with Vikant, especially for polity, because in the end you have to read Lakshmikant, and it is a book. It is designed such that you will be able to understand each and everything gradually, not in your first
ओके.
read, but then gradually you will understand. But on the other hand, reading NCRTs is must for history. It is must for geography. Even for economy, I'll say that if you have zero understanding of economic concepts, economic keywords, then you have to refer NCRT of economy. Environment related NCRTs are also good. So NCRTs are important also for science. Many aspirants ask me this question, that what are the sources of science? So I always tell them that if you do not have a science background, then reading class 11th and 12th NCRTs is must for you. Even though the questions mostly are current oriented in science, but then you have to have a background, because You cannot predict UPSC, you cannot predict prelims. To certain extent, you can predict mains. I always used to do so. That I was able to
Right.
predict what question will be asked in mains, but then pre you cannot predict. So any day it can happen that completely static paper comes all of a sudden. Not even a single question is asked from current. Imagine that paper.
Hmm.
So everything is from NCRT, and you have left NCRT itself. All you focused was on ready-made coaching material. So NCRT is a
Right.
panacea, and not for every subject, but then you have to selectively go through it.
Okay. So as you said that for science it's very important कि आप NCERTs करें अगर आपका background science नहीं है. So हमें usually biology की NCERTs के लिए कहा जाता है 11th और 12th में. So क्या physics और chemistry की NCERTs भी करनी चाहिए?
No, they are not that important. What one should do is, to answer this question, I'll say that always keep yourself updated with trends. Always refer to the
Right.
previous year question paper from 2013 to 2019. You have 7 years of papers with you. See what is UPSC
Hmm.
asking. This is a basic mistake that I also committed. My friends also committed. They are in different services right now. We were a main group of 4 people. All 4 of us are in different services right now. But then we
Okay.
never referred previous year question papers as such. We kept on studying. Attempt after attempt, you keep on studying, you keep on reading XYZ material, but then you don't even know, you don't even try to figure out what UPSC asked the last year. Even though you have attempted that paper, trust me, you won't be able to recall 90 out of 100 questions what UPSC had asked last year. It is always advisable to go through them again. You can always amend
Okay.
your sources according to the previous year question paper. So I don't think physics and chemistry questions have been asked till now. Main focus has been on biology. So that should be referred.
Okay. So you are the writer of a very famous book on ethics, which is Decode Ethics. It's a very well received book. It was a bestseller on Amazon and all of that. And ethics, GS paper 4 is a bone of contention for a lot of students because prelims में नहीं आता और कब कौन सा टाइम है जो सही टाइम है उसको शुरू करने के लिए उसको पढ़ने के लिए इस चीज में हमेशा कंफ्यूजन रहता है. So will you throw some light on that कि प्रीलिम्स के पहले एथिक्स का पोर्शन खत्म हो जाना चाहिए या फिर प्रीलिम्स के बाद कई लोग शुरू करने के लिए बोलते हैं वो चीज सही है. व्हाट इज द करेक्ट स्ट्रेटजी?
Uh, in my view, one should prepare ethics before prelims. What you can do
ओके.
is that, as ethics is mostly about answer writing, uh, the more you sugarcoat your answer with keywords, the more marks you will get in ethics. So, what
यस.
you can do is read book before prelims, make notes of keywords out of that book. So once
ओके.
you have done this exercise, that you have read the book once and you have made notes of keywords out of it before pre, what you can do after pre is just revise those keywords. Revise those keywords. Your ethics per se, the entire ethics would be revised if you revise your list of keywords. List of keywords must include thinkers, theories like utilitarianism, communitarianism, individual ethics, etc. Thinkers like Goldman, etc. Because these
ओके.
keywords, these thinkers are very important to mention in your answer. I'm not asking you to explain it, you have to mention it. So, this much material must be ready before prelims because after prelims, what happens is that generally people leave 1 month of newspaper before prelims. So, they already
राइट.
have a burden of it. After prelims, I don't think anybody studies for 1 week and then test series starts, and most of the aspirants are not sure whether they will clear prelims or not, so they are hanging by a fine thread. They don't know what to do, and meanwhile test series starts, and often I have seen that test series starts with GS1, not GS4. So if you have not
राइट.
read ethics before prelims, what happens is that GS4 paper comes quite late and your ethics is left for too much of end part of your mains. So that is very risky. That is why you need to prepare it beforehand. Also, I would say that it is always better to prepare static portions before pre, like ethics,
Okay.
GS1, and essay. These three are mainly static portions. Keep them ready before prelims. Your main
Hmm.
focus between pre and mains must be on GS2 and GS3 because they are mostly current oriented, and too much of
Right.
current has to be read these days. UPSC is broadening its as areas. It is broadening the timeline of current affairs. Back then, in my time,
Yes.
1 year of current affairs used to be asked. Now they are asking current affairs of 15 to 18 months. So there is a lot to read. So prepare statics beforehand.
Okay. So what was your approach for current affairs?
As I've already told, three sources for current, that is Hindu Vision and Insight. If you are religiously reading a newspaper and a
Hmm.
coaching material, be it any,
Right.
there is no need to refer third material. I used to refer insights, but then my compilation of notes was so thick by the end of
Right.
Hindu and Vision that I did not have guts more than often to refer insight. There used to be this much thick bundle of notes of current affairs.
Right.
So, in my first attempt, I was directionless. I read Yojana, Kurukshetra, and other n number of magazines. But then, in my second to fifth attempt, I didn't read any of those. I focused on only concise materials, made my own notes out of those, and revised those notes 5 to 6 times. So, as I revised my notes 5 to 6 times, each and every point in my notes used to be on my tips, and that is the reason that I scored so heavily in mains.
Right. बट सर बहुत सारी जब भी आप प्रिपरेशन करना स्टार्ट करते हैं एन नंबर ऑफ वेबसाइट्स का इवन अगर आप कोई कोचिंग भी ज्वाइन करते हैं तो दे टेल यू कि पीआईबी भी कीजिए पीआरएस भी कीजिए आईडीएसए एमए की वेबसाइट्स सारी डिपार्टमेंट मिनिस्ट्रीज की वेबसाइट्स तो बच्चे इतने ज्यादा कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं उस वजह से एंड यू सेइंग दिस वेरी करेक्टली क्योंकि करंट अफेयर्स का एक महीने का जो बंडल होता है वो आई थिंक एक किसी भी मोटी सी बुक के बराबर होता है तो
बिल्कुल।
आप उन बच्चों को क्या कहेंगे जो इस तरीके से भटक रहे हैं बिकॉज हियर से पे वो राजेंद्र नगर और मुखर्जी नगर की गलियां बहुत टॉक्सिक है लोगों के लिए
मैंने जब ये बोला था कि मैंने 13th डे पे कोचिंग छोड़ दी थी, तब मैं ये
जी
बोलना नहीं चाह रहा था. बट देन नाउ यू हैव आस्क्ड दिस क्वेश्चन, सो आई specifically place it on record. What is the modus operandi of most of the coachings out there is that they'll scare you. They'll tell
राइट
you a list of 200, 500,000 things to read. At the end of that, they'll say, हम हैं, आप डरो नहीं, हम हैं,
हाँ
हम आपको इसकी समरी देंगे, हम आपको ये देंगे, हम आपको वो देंगे. ये जनरली उनकी ओरिएंटेशन क्लास में होता है. फिर सब में एक फियर ऑफ फेलियर होता है. सब में एक ये होता है कि हाँ, ये 100 जने ये क्लास करेंगे, मैं नहीं करूंगा तो मैं पीछे रह जाऊंगा. वो फियर ऑफ
एग्जैक्टली
फेलियर, वो फियर ऑफ मिसिंग आउट जो है, वो सबसे ज्यादा खतरनाक है इस यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन में. आप मत देखिए कि कौन आपको 200, 300, 1000 बुक्स या सोर्सेस पढ़ने को बोल रहा है. आप 10 से 15 सोर्स पढ़िए, अच्छे से पढ़िए, उसे बार बार पढ़िए. सो आई रिपीट,
राइट
for those who do not understand Hindi, that coaching institutes will scare you. They'll use your fear of failure. They'll tell you thousands of sources. They'll scare you to an extent that you will think that my preparation would be directionless. It is impossible if I do not join coaching at all. So do not fall in this trap. Use your brain. Just refer previous year question papers, see what is UPSC is asking, try to do a small research, try to find articles related to those questions. You will easily find everything from mains is asked from one or other newspaper. I used to read Hindu. In my first attempt, I left questions because I didn't know most of them. But then in my second, third, and fifth attempt, I wrote three mains after my first attempt. I did not leave even a single question. Everything was from the Hindu. So there is no need to refer thousands of sources. Just read one source, read it nicely.
Okay. So coming back to ethics, from very limited understanding of what I have about the exam, I think ethics is an amalgamation of your upbringing, your environment, your values, the way you were brought up. This is what I have broadly understood. But do you think that studying a lot of ethics, like people refer to four books for ethics because it's the exam which will make or break your rank, so as to say. So, do you think that your entire environment, the entire upbringing you've had, does that affect ethics to a very certain level? And as you correctly said that अगर आप कुछ keywords और thinkers और उनकी philosophies को कुछ याद कर लेते हैं तो आप बहुत अच्छे answers लिख सकते हैं if you're genuinely a nice person so per se.
Uh, this is tricky to say, but then I really do not think it has a role to play. You can
Okay.
score 150 even if you are most unethical guy. So this is what it is. I really do not think that it has impact.
Okay.
I don't want to say more on it. It does not have a role. Treat it like any other GS paper. There is a
Right.
question that dealing with ethics. There is a question, say, what do you understand by probity in governance? Sure,
Hmm.
this is a question on ethics, but you can answer it.
Right.
If you have read a book, you have read it, you have made notes out of it, you have got hold of the answer writing skills, even if you do not imbibe in your nature, in your character, what you have read, you can score.
Okay. Okay. So, your journey as a UPSC aspirant was a very long one. People seem to lose patience in just 1 year or 2 years if they fail. Uh, they think that their life is over if they fail even a preliminary or a mains exam. So, what kept you going? Because you gave your fifth attempt and you gained the service that you wanted all along. So, how did you maintain your patience and calm during all these years?
Frankly, I did not maintain patience and calm. After every attempt, I used to think that hell has broken loose on me. This is the end
Right.
of world. After every attempt, I used to feel. In my first attempt, when I cleared mains, in my very first attempt, I threw a party to my friends that ban gaya main, is baar ban gaya. So this
Right.
this happens. This is human nature. You think that you have crossed two hurdles, you will cross the final hurdle as well. But then the competition is very tough. So I remember that after the result of first attempt, when I went through interview round but could not make to final list, I was crying. I was in tears. My father has had
Right.
come to pick me up from hostel, and I was crying. So the hostel warden said only these words: "ऐसा नहीं है, ये UPSC है." So he meant to say that don't be discouraged by it. This is UPSC. This is competition. This is what
Right.
happens. Not uh, everybody desires to clear this exam in first attempt, but then not everyone is able to clear it. Competition is so high. So I just kept pushing myself from there on. In my second attempt, when result came, uh, I had triple two rank. So
Right.
in first attempt, I had scored only 118 in interview. So after that, everybody close to me, my friends, those were preparing along with me, told me that you have seen the worst. इससे बुरा क्या होगा? You have seen the lowest possible
Hmm.
thing. So I kept myself positive. After getting triple two rank, one of my friend, who is now my senior uh, in
Okay.
IS, Rohit Ghodke, he told me that he has a intuition. Somehow he had an intuition that I have again failed miserably in interview. I told him, how is
Oh.
it possible? I have scored triple two rank. It is very unlikely that I could have failed in interview again. I failed to perform in interview
Mm.
again. After 1 week of that, mark sheets were released. I scored only 110 in interview. It was second lowest score among selected candidates. So, coming back to what you asked, how did you push yourself again and again? I had to push myself again. 1 week ago, on 4th of July 2015, it was when results came. I was over the moon.
Mm.
I had triple two rank. In August, mark sheets came, and again I was broken. But then you have to keep performing, you have to keep pushing yourself. In my next attempt, my GS score was 426, it was fifth highest in India.
Mm.
Then geography got butchered that year. I got only 190 in geography. Again, I had to push myself. In my next
Mm.
attempt, I failed pre, but then I had no other option. I was IPS twice. I had gone through ligament tear. I was detected arthritis. I could not complete training. The only option with me left was to somehow get a rank. So I had to push myself. I had simply no other option. To those who feel dejected, who leave preparation in dejection, this is my advice that nothing is permanent. I've written it many times on my blog. Nothing is permanent, neither failure nor success. Today you might have failed, tomorrow you might succeed. You may or may not succeed, but then if you do not try, you won't succeed at all. So, as many have said, failures are stepping stone. You have to try. There is no other option. That's it.
Exactly. Ships are meant to sail, not stand on the parking area,
Yeah.
dockyard. So in your very first week of training as an IPS officer, you had a injury, you had a ligament tear, and then you were diagnosed with osteoarthritis. And then you had to go. You had no other option other than changing your service, which was IPS. And second year also you got IPS. So do you think you are one of those people who perform better under pressure because you had clearly no other option than to study a lot harder and change your service?
Exactly. I think that when pressure is there on me, I perform. Not only
Right.
better, I perform only when pressure is on me. As I already told that in 2016, uh, I wasn't under pressure. I was
Hmm.
perhaps on moon. I was on other planet. I was thinking that I have cleared twice, I'll clear again. This exam is nothing for me. I
Right.
was thinking like that. So there was no pressure on me. But then I flunked. I had to change service. So in 2017, I was under immense pressure. What that
Right.
pressure did was that I studied again like someone would study as if it was their first attempt. So I remember it clearly. I solved 43 papers. All those papers were available online for free. I prepared from home in 2017. I solved all those papers. I
Hmm.
revised all my notes. I made my own current affair notes. I updated my notes from the recent trends. So everything was like this is my first attempt. I had left
Right.
all my success, all my failures behind. 2017 was a fresh start. I was under a lot of pressure, but then thankfully I could perform.
Exactly. So, can you please tell us something about newspaper reading, which is also a very controversial topic as far as UPSC is concerned, because a lot of toppers say कि जरूरत नहीं है, आप current affairs कर लो, monthly magazines कर लीजिए. कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि नहीं नहीं न्यूज़पेपर तो religiously follow करो. कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि दो दो न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ो एक दिन में. So, what according to you is the correct strategy for newspaper?
Strategy, according to me, is that you have to read. Uh,
Right.
there are examples of people who have cleared without reading newspaper. That does not
Right.
mean that you take it as a shortcut. You take
Hmm.
it as uh, writing on the wall that newspaper is not required. XYZ topper cleared without reading newspaper. I'll also clear. Every day is not
Right.
Sunday. When you start playing pool, what happens is that you will be able to pot some balls. So people tend to think that they are champion at pool, but then
Right.
as you start learning it, as you start playing it often, you will miss more shots than you pot. So what I'm trying to say is that flukes happen.
Right.
I'm not trying to show little to other toppers, but then every day is not Sunday. Uh, Everyone does not have that capability to read ready-made material and to be able to connect the dots. Once you start
Exactly.
reading, once you refer previous year papers, you will know how tough this preparation is. So do not take shortcuts. I get this question on my Telegram channel. If I get 100
Mhm.
questions in a day, 90 questions are on current affairs. I have made a post
Right.
on it on my blog with name current affairs preparation. I post it every day at least 100 times. You have to read newspaper. You have to read. You have to read. I am tired of saying, but then every now and then one or other aspirant comes up with an example of a blog or a topper's talk where
Exactly.
somebody has said that these are not panacea. You can ask
Mm.
people of 2018 and 2019 CSE how tough it was for them who had not read newspaper, who had gone with only ready-made material. UPSC
Right.
is very smart. It knows what people are reading. I don't know how, but then it knows. So if you are
Mm.
not reading newspaper, if you are following only one particular coaching, I'm sure you won't be able to clear it. Even if you clear, if if you are not getting IS rank, say you are getting rank 200, next year it is no guarantee that you will clear again. But then if you
Mm.
follow my method, I have followed that methods and cleared time and again. I could not become
Right.
IS, that is different thing, but then I got my name in list three times. So follow tried
Right.
and tested approach. Do not go for shortcuts. Newspapers are must.
Yeah, nobody else who's better than you to tell this because you have had your name in the list, right? And you have had three services in your 6 years. So while preparing, what was your schedule like? Like, what was your time to sleep and when did you get up? How many hours did you put in? Were you working? Were you not working? Can you please tell us something about that?
So this might again scare a few, but then as I've already told in beginning, my first attempt was too directionless. I had too much of
Right.
material piled up to study. I used to sleep only 4 hours a day. I used to study 16 hours. So
Oh,
16 hours plus 4, that is 20, and the rest of the
right.
4 hours, in rest of the 4 hours I used to eat also, and I used to gym for 1 hour. I never left gym.
Wow.
I a gym freak back then, but then now I am not doing that. Back then I was a gym freak, so I used to gym. I used to study for 16 hours, but then that
Oh,
is not
wow.
required. Uh, Ideal timetable, I would say 10 to 12 hours a day is required. You cannot
Hmm.
shorten that beyond that. Less than 10 hours a day is too less, I think. For
Right.
working professionals, my advice again is that if you are not getting 10 hours, then ensure that your study material is concise. Only if your
Hmm.
study material is concise, you will be able to study all your material if you are studying for less than 10 hours. So, in my first attempt, my work sitting hours were too much. In my second attempt, as I had foundation, I had base, the studying hours reduced. So
Right.
they were reduced to say 12 hours. In my third attempt, 10 hours. In my last attempt, I used to study for 8 to 10 hours. There was not much new to study in 2017.
Hmm.
So I could do that. But then if you are a first timer, I'll advise 10 to 12 hours is ideal time.
What was your book list like? Were you reading these standard books, or there was some other thing that, some other sort of reference that you were going to? What was your book list like?
Only standard books. So my book
Okay,
list was like 12 to 14 books in all. For art
right.
and culture, I referred Nitin Singhania's notes. I didn't
Hmm.
read his book back then
Okay.
because first his notes came. His book came later,
Oh.
but then notes were enough for me, so I didn't refer book.
Mhm.
For ancient medieval, I was very skeptic of that topic. I am skeptic even today.
Right.
So I got a
Exactly.
30-page summary was available for that topic of Chronicle IS. They came
Mhm.
with the summary in 2013. I read only those 30 pages. Those 30 pages are on my blog. If anyone wants, they can take it from there. For
Right.
modern, I studied Spectrum in my first attempt, but then after first attempt, I didn't read that book. I got a summary online. I read that
Okay.
summary only, and apart from that, I read Lucent GK book because
Right.
factual questions were coming in pre. So Lucent
Mhm.
had around 40 pages uh, on modern history. So I read that 40
Mhm.
pages. Uh, for mains world history, I read Arjun Dev book, and for the topics that were missing in Arjun Dev, like American Revolution, Italian Industrial, I referred Google. No
Okay.
institute material, no coaching material. For post independence, I read only Paul Science NCERT of class 12th. It is
Right.
12th or 11th. It is 12th, I guess. Paul Science NCERT.
Right.
It is 12th, I guess. So
Okay.
this takes care of history. For
Mhm.
geography was my optional. So I never felt a need of preparing it separately for prelims. So
Okay.
I might not be the best person to guide somebody with non-geography background to prepare for prelims. But what I have heard from others that ninth to 12th NCRTs are very good for
Mhm.
geography. Also, there are yellow books of Waziram. So
Mhm.
for geography, those books I found very good. I referred those for
Okay.
GS as well as my optional. I found those books very good. So that is for geography. Also GC Leong you have to refer. And for
Right.
math work, I did Prem Patel book. So that book
Right.
these days is available in ebook format. Back then in my time, it was available as hard copy.
Right.
Maps through India through Maps by Prem Patel. That is a very good book for mapping. Then for environment, I read only Shankar and current affairs. For
Right.
politics, only Lakshmikant and current. For economy, only Sriram and current. For
Okay.
science, as I was from science background, I didn't read NCRT. I referred Lucent
Mhm.
GK again because
Okay.
static portion of Lucent GK science was good. So, and for current, I followed only those limited sources as I told.
Right.
This is the,
So,
yeah,
sorry, you were saying, please continue.
no, say,
So, what about these subjects that are not tabbed in prelims but are very essential for mains? For example, society or developmental issues, or all of those subjects that are not, that do not play a very important part in prelims but are very important for mains.
okay. So, yeah, I missed GS1 Society. So, for GS1
Exactly.
Society, I referred IGNU material. So, IGNU's
Okay.
material was available as PDF online. So, I
Right.
didn't read any book for society. That material
Hmm.
was enough for me. But then I would recommend aspirants to read some or other book because what is happening now
Okay.
is that straightforward questions are not coming from society. Questions are
Hmm.
critical. Society questions and post independence question are mingled up. So
Right.
poverty related issue can come in society as well as post independence. So what UPSC is doing according to me is that they are asking these topics together. So that makes
Right.
question very analytical. Until you do not have a base, solid base, you cannot answer them. So
Mhm.
refer some or other book, refer NCRT if a quality NCRT is available for Indian society, refer that. It is important now. Similarly, for IR, I referred only current, no static book ever.
Mhm.
For static bodies, I Googled. So
Right.
I'm a kind of person who would rely on Google more than on books. I have written
Mhm.
two books, but then personally I don't like reading books. So that is what it is. I read Google a lot. So for
Okay.
polity, I've already told. For economy, GS3, static part is often not asked in mains. Questions are current oriented for economy. So
Right.
still you can refer Shriram even for mains. Otherwise, for other parts like agriculture, it is purely current based.
Right.
Science is current based.
Right.
Security has a portion that is mix of static and current. So for
Mhm.
security, you can refer a book. Uh, I don't think any other topic of GS3 requires a book as such. For environment, I referred
Right.
Shankar. For
Mhm.
disaster management, there was a Yojana magazine of March 2012. So that
Mhm.
magazine is relevant even today. Even after 8 years,
Right.
it is relevant because it was very good. Update wherever necessary from current, but then static information in that magazine was very good. And for
Okay.
GS4, I never referred any book. I made my own material. So using uh, Google, using university sites, using journals and all, I made my own study material and
Right.
into a book. This is my
Okay.
concise book list.
So your voice is not audible, I think.
So from where did it cut?
Yes, exactly. No, no, you were talking about GS4 only.
Yeah. Okay.
That you made your own material.
Yeah, I made my own notes. I didn't refer any book. I referred Google,
Right.
university sites and all and made my own material.
Another question from a viewer. It's a very interesting one. Spectrum versus Vipin Chandra for modern history.
Okay, so
What is your take on that?
I think for pre spectrum is more relevant because
Okay.
it is more facts oriented. Like if there are tables in spectrum of newspaper,
Right.
journals, books, viceroys, etc. Those tables are very important for pre. But then
Hmm.
for mains, yesterday only I analyzed GS1 mains paper from
Hmm.
2013 to 2019 for modern history. So what I
Right.
saw was four questions are asked till date in 7 years that can be
Hmm.
directly attributed to modern history. So
Right.
most of those questions can be easily asked from Bipin Chandra. Spectrum, keep it for pre. Bipin Chandra, keep
Hmm.
it for mains. But then you cannot read two different books. So uh,
Okay.
as I said, I found a summary online during my second attempt. It has I updated that, edited it. It has only 78 pages. Those 78
Okay.
pages plus the tables given in spectrum plus 40
Hmm.
pages of Lucent. I think this
Hmm.
is enough for modern history. So those
Okay.
78 pages notes are on my blog. They can be taken from there. Uh,
Right.
Read spectrum tables and Lucent 40 odd pages of modern history. So this is
Right.
relevant for pre and mains. This is how you can balance preparation of modern.
Right. I think this will be very helpful for those people who do not have a lot of time or for working professionals.
Yeah, because you
Yes.
cannot read 500, 700 odd page book if you are a
Exactly.
working.
Right. And even if you do read, then it's very difficult to retain such sad books, so as to
Yeah.
say. So, sir, in your very first attempt, you reached the interview round, and in the second attempt as well. And as you were saying that your interview scores were quite low, 110 and 118. So why do you think was that, and what do you think we should do so that that can be avoided?
I really have no idea till date why I scored so low. If I had any iota of idea, I would not have scored 110 after scoring 118. So I
Right,
really I gave 4 interviews. Scores were 118, 110, 154, and 165. So crossing
hmm,
150 was like climbing a mountain for me, and my best is only 165, which I am sure would be worst for many. So if I had got 138 in my second attempt,
hmm,
not 110, only 28 more marks. That 138 is also only 50% of score. 275
right,
percent is 138. If I had got
once a day.
138, then also I would have got 75 rank back then. So I am really not sure what is wrong with me, or if there is something wrong in other aspects. I don't know why I scored so low. No idea.
No, no, I am very sure that nothing is wrong with you. But what do you think the board wants from a candidate? I mean, what do they really do inside that room that a lot of people literally come out crying?
They are cordial. They don't do any wrong thing as such, because see, their
Right.
people are scoring big.
Hmm.
For sure, there is issue in me or in my profile, in my DAF. That is for sure. They are not my
Okay.
enemy. That they'll give
Right, of
me low
course.
marks 4 times. They do not
Hmm.
have any personal grudge against me. I had faced 4 different boards. It is not also that I had faced one board 4 times.
Right.
So 4 different
Exactly.
people have given me low marks. So I'm sure there is something wrong in the way perhaps I answer questions, perhaps
Okay.
in my speech delivery, or perhaps my answers are not practical enough. But there is nothing wrong in the process of interview as such, because many people are doing good. So
Right.
with experience of my 4 attempts, what I could gather is that your answers must be honest. Secondly,
Hmm.
make sure that your answers are not made up, that you haven't
Okay.
really understood the issue, but then you are speaking something. That should not happen. Uh,
Right.
it should not be too factual. Like perhaps what was positive for me in mains uh, became negative in interview. In mains, my
Okay.
answers are factual. My answers are technical. That is why I
Right.
scored heavily. But perhaps
Hmm.
in my first couple of interviews, my answers were factual and too technical. So what happens
Yes.
when you give technical answers to board is that they are very experienced people. They know where are you coming from, where that answer is coming from. So perhaps they would have got the idea that I have mugged up. I have not understood the issue. I
Okay.
have just mugged it up. So do not do that. And lastly,
Right.
very important thing, always
Hmm.
converse in the language of your interview. So if your interview
Okay.
medium is English, converse in English for at least 3 or 4 months. If your interview medium is in Hindi, converse in Hindi. Converse with
Okay.
people. The more people you converse with, you will get confident about your answers, you will get confident about your communication skills. So that is
Right.
more important.
Okay. So this was, I think, one of the best learning experiences for me personally because everything was so genuine, straight from your heart. This is a really tough time. I mean, this pandemic situation has really gotten worse. It's getting worse day to day. And what is one thing that you want to say to our viewers for somebody who's supposed to give the exam in 2021 and is going to start tomorrow and they have exactly 10 months if we consider that the exam is going to happen in June? So what will you say to a person who's going to give this exam, the preliminary exam, in 10 months?
My advice is that do not get overawed by the situation. Your
Hmm.
focus must be on your preparation. Uh, I'm aware that the timeline for next year is not clear as of now, but
Right.
you have to prepare as if the exam is in June. Do not
Right.
think that exam will be delayed, because if you start thinking that, you won't prepare at all. Your preparation won't be structured. So
Right.
believe or keep it that way, like exam is in June. That is the first thing. Secondly,
Hmm.
as I said earlier, this is the line that I have picked from MS Dhoni. I am a huge cricket freak. I am a huge Dhoni fan. If you notice
Yes.
his presentations, he says, follow the processes, results will come. So, this is
Right.
my advice: follow processes, make a timetable, a daily timetable, a weekly timetable, a fortnight, and a monthly. So, your timetable must be divided into four parts like daily, weekly,
Right.
monthly, and fortnight. You can make your timetable according to the test series schedule, or you can make your own timetable if you are not following any test series. But having a
Hmm.
timetable is must. If you do not have timetable, you won't have daily targets. If you do not have daily targets, then there is a lot to prepare, you will fall behind. So
Yes.
to keep yourself on track, to keep structured preparation, to do not get overawed by the situation, to avoid daydreaming, to avoid fear of failure, there is only and only one mantra, that is make and follow timetable.
Right.
So that is my advice to not only those who are appearing next year but also this year. I am sure they are appearing. Many are appearing this year without structured
Right.
preparation. Still, you have 80 odd days. You can prepare structured in a structured manner.
Right. So I was going through Twitter feed the other day, and yes, I did notice that you're an avid cricket freak, so as to say, and you do catalog your tweets as well. You number your tweets.
I
Uh,
have picked up
I
that
think
from Amitabh Bachchan.
Amitabh Bachchan. I did notice that.
Yeah.
So yes, when I was going through your feed, I did realize that yes, a structure has to be followed while giving this exam also, and proper planning is definitely the most important thing. But what about you personally? I mean, this is the last question, and it's going to go a personal route. What is your, लेट्स जस्ट से शॉर्ट टर्म गोल, या फिर एक बार ये कोरोना खत्म होगा तो पहली चीज आप क्या करना चाहेंगे?
I am a kind of person who really do not take stress of things which are not in my hand. So,
Okay.
speaking at my personal level, this has really not impacted my life because
Right.
I try to avoid things which are not in my hand. It has
Hmm.
impacted many, it has impacted me in some or other way, but then I have
Hmm.
not treated it like I have become a victim of it. So always try to ensure that you do not think that conspiracies are building around you and you are a victim. Do not think that.
Right.
So maybe this is a philosophical answer, but then I have really not thought about it. I take it a day at a time. So my
Hmm.
plan was only for today. My session was at 9
Okay.
a.m. 9 p.m. I had set an alarm in my mobile for 8 p.m. So just plan
Yes.
your day. Do not think about things which are not in your hand. The situation today is very dynamic. It is very tough. I'm sure we'll come out of it. But then do not plan for too long, too beyond. Keep it simple.
Exactly. One day at a moment it is.
Yeah.
I hope you had a good session with us. You
Yeah.
also enjoyed some of our very silly questions. I really hope so. Um,
It was it was
I had
wonderful.
a,
It was wonderful. It was pleasure to uh, dwell in my past and gather my
yes.
thoughts. What all journey that I could go through. So it was wonderful.
Thank you so much, sir. It was amazing for me as a future UPSC aspirant, as somebody who's been trying to be there, who wants to be on the other side of the screen someday. I think it was the best learning experience online for me, at least. So thank you very much.
Thank,
And with this, I'd like to end this session.
thank, thank you.
Thank you, sir.